Ladies and gentlemen, what is good? What is happening? How are we doing? How are we feeling? Today we're going to be talking about Ethereum and how ever since Ethereum layer 2 solutions were delayed, I'm also going to be checking to make sure I'm actually live streaming that y'all can see everything and hear everything. Ever since Ethereum layer 2 solution was delayed, everyone was like, oh shoot, and they started looking for alternative investments other than Ethereum. So we're going to talk about the competitors to Ethereum, you know, coins like ADA, POLKADOT, the other one is AVAX. Who's going to win market share? And speaking of market share, let's actually look at these coins and their market share. So Ethereum is at a whopping 200 billion. That's a lot, y'all. That is a lot. It is the second largest cryptocurrency in the world, and you know, second only to Bitcoin, which is at 1 trillion. But that's not the point. The point is Cardano, Polkadot. We got Avalanche. I don't even know where Avalanche is, but we got these coins competing. Who's gonna get market share from Ethereum? And a lot of people are saying, well, I heard one point from a YouTuber called JRNY Crypto. He said it might be a good thing that people are looking for alternatives because it'll alleviate the amount of pressure that's put on the Ethereum network since there's so many people on it. So if people start going here, then it's gonna alleviate a lot of this. So that's why people are looking at these competitors. And in this video, we are going to watch a few videos just trying to get a deeper understanding of Ethereum, of Polkadot, of all of these competitors. Of Cardano, I want to get a deep understanding of it, and hopefully y'all can stick around. So let's start off with this first video of Charles Hoskinson, and he's talking about whether or not he thinks it'll be winner takes all, or if he has any thoughts on who's gonna take a lot of the market share. So let's see what happens. Let's see what he talks about.
So stuff changes. The only constant is change. So, you know, who knows if it's Polkadot, Ethereum, and Cardano. It does look like we're heading to a Mexican standoff, and, you know, it's going to be a good, the bad, the ugly type of a deal. And we don't know which one's wearing a poncho. But you know, we'll find out what happens. The market will decide that. But I think we have the wrong mentality when we look at things in a sum-zero way. At the end of the day, we have to say, are we solving the problems we set out to solve? And there's two sets of them. One are conceptual, and then the other problems are actual. So the conceptual problems are convincing people that you can run governance, you can run systems in a fundamentally different way. Money is a great example of that. We say, oh, okay, two options. You can have private money or public money. So either have a central bank that a government controls or a bank issues a currency. Both of these have screwed the pooch. There's been over 100 plus years of history in modern central banking, and in private banking, we've seen all the way back to the Rothschilds and their gold certificates. In all cases, they just don't work out well. Last year, we printed $6 trillion of money out of thin air to pay for stuff, and they have the audacity to say, I still have to pay taxes. Why? If you're telling me you can print $6 trillion and it's not going to have inflation, why don't you just do that every year and pay for everything? Why not just, you know, helicopter money in monetary theory? See, that's the logical inconsistency and the temptation of the printing press. And in private money, look at Tether or these other things. There's a lot of allegations flowing around that maybe they're a fractional reserve. And even if they're not, it's real tempting to be a private business and sit on $25 billion of cash and be like, well, nobody will really know if I take a little bit and maybe invest it in this or do it in that or something like that. That's what the Rothschilds did with their gold certificates. They say, hey, people aren't redeeming these at the rate of issuance, so we could go fractional. Nobody would even notice, and look how much money we'd make from that seniorage. Okay, so when you have those types of situations occur, maybe it's better to have a third option. And that's what Bitcoin basically did. It said, this is a deflationary money system, value system. It's like a proto commodity. It's like digital gold that allows you to build money. And it's not run by a government. It's not run by a bank. It's something new. So that's the conceptual side of cryptocurrencies. And there's all kinds of concepts: voting, property rights, identity, okay, making decisions in a transnational way. And every time you demonstrate a killer use case like that, then everybody can point to it and say, I know that works. And that becomes a permanent social building block that you can use for a business. It's almost like when you're successful, they say, I want to be the Uber of X, the Tesla of Y, right? There's this concept that the business model works and we want to emulate or replicate this kind of idea. Then the actual is doing stuff, and so success for me in the space is saying, did we make a difference? How did we choose to spend our lives? So I look at the world system, and I did a TED Talk back in 2014. I've just said the same thing over and over and over again. And I'll keep saying it. Maybe one day it'll happen. We live in two worlds. We live in the developed world and the developing world. In the developing world, they're unbanked for the most part. And despite the fact that they're just as smart as us, they work harder than we do, and they're just as human as you and me, they are shafted because their systems are terrible. They live in capital controls and corrupt governments, and they live in areas where there's not good rule of law, and they don't have stable currencies, and as a consequence, no real good banking infrastructure, no good risk management infrastructure, and so forth. So they can't build wealth of no fault of their own. They lost the geographic lottery. They were just unlucky.
That's a really good point, bro. He's talking about how he's shifting the attention from who's grabbing market share. He's shifting that towards who's going to make a bigger difference, which ultimately, in my opinion, is going to lead to a bigger market share, but that's not the point.
Okay, so the point of our technology is to take a step back and say, why don't we just give them a new system? We talk about DeFi. Who's going to be using DeFi? The 25-year-old yield farming kid in New Jersey living in his mom and dad's basement? Or is it going to be the farmer in Ethiopia that's trying to get a fertilizer voucher and can actually, if he gets it, afford to repay you a 15% interest rate? It's going to be the farmer. You see, and that's what gets me up in the morning. And I don't really care if that infrastructure runs on POLKADOT or Ethereum or Bitcoin. The reason I built Cardano was that I looked at all the infrastructures. I looked at their roadmap and I realized they're trying to chase the wrong markets. They're dealing in the wrong ponds, and they're not going to really proactively go to that part of the world and help them out. So if we built Cardano the right way, it would be built in a way that would be maximally beneficial to as many people as possible. So yes, the IBMs can use us, and the Microsofts can use us, and the GMs can use us, and we can do supply chain and all of these other things. Sure, but that's not the point. What I'm going to do is wake up and direct our commercial efforts, my company's commercial efforts, to Ethiopia and to the country of Georgia and to Southeast Asia and to Mongolia. But it's an open protocol. So as we do that, everybody else gets to use the protocol for their own use and utility. And what's so cool is you can have a merging of two worlds. So they say, well, it creates use and adoption. Would you like 10 million new customers who are under the age of 30, who are highly digitized, with rapidly growing income, who have no brand preferences? Well, of course. So, okay, come on board, build applications for that.
Big fan of his way of thinking, because he's not saying, well, I don't know the other competitors much about them. Yeah, that's what we're going to look into this video. POLKADOT, Avalanche, who are they? What is their mission? But as far as Charles Hoskinson, he's saying there's a lot of opportunity out there. I'm going to focus it on helping the poor, on helping those who are in need. And that's amazing, man. I'm going to hit this with a like, and we're going to move on to the next video, talking about Ethereum Layer 2 solutions. Now, what is that? If you're not aware, if you're not familiar with it, Ethereum Layer 2 solution is basically, imagine Apple releasing an update and saying, imagine if Apple had a bunch of problems with their iOS system and they were trying to figure out, okay, shoot, we need to come out with an update and be like, bam, bam, bam. And so that's what Vitalik is trying to do with, I don't know what kind of explanation that was, with ETH Layer 2 solutions. And I think he's been saying it, I don't know how long he's been wanting to put it out, but the recent delay has caused a lot of people to move on from Ethereum. And so this was back in 2020. I guess news was out about it, and I think it was expected to be here in 2021, but it's probably going to be 2022. That's what I'm hearing. Nobody knows. Only Vitalik will. But this video is Charles Hoskinson, Will Ethereum ETH 2 solutions make Cardano obsolete? Let's find out, y'all.
Will Ethereum 2.0 make Cardano obsolete? No. In fact, all the core protocols of Cardano are better than what Ethereum 2.0 will be once finished in every category. We're more Byzantine resistant. We have explicit blockchain-based governance, which Ethereum hasn't even touched at all. We have a better idea of how to update the system. We have a significantly better network design than anything that they proposed in 2.0, and our consensus protocol is better. Plus, with Hydra, our theoretical throughput is orders of magnitude better than anything that can achieve with ledger-based sharding. And we don't have to implement enormous complexity to achieve ledger-based sharding because we can do all of this in a single shard environment with a layer 2 solution and still get 1,000 TPS on the single shard environment with maximum optimization. It makes no...
I don't know what any of that meant. Bro, what did they say? What did you say?
Hasn't even touched at all.
Okay. Let's break this down, y'all. This was like 30 seconds of...
Obsolete? No. In fact, all the core protocols of Cardano are better than what Ethereum 2.0 will be once finished in every category. We're more Byzantine resistant. We have
Byzantine resistant.
Explicit blockchain-based governance.
Explicit blockchain-based governance.
Which Ethereum hasn't even touched at all. We have a better idea of how to update the system. We have a significantly better network design than anything that they proposed in 2.0, and our consensus protocol is better. Plus,
consensus protocol.
Hydra, our theoretical
theoretical throughput. Bro, what is Byzantine resistance? Byzantine Empire? Cardano glossary. We have... Damn, they got a whole glossary, bro. That's crazy. Okay. Byzantine. Relevant research papers. Byzantine resistance. Okay, so we have a glossary here. Let's zoom in a little bit, y'all, so you can actually see what I'm looking at. The Cardano glossary. BFT, Byzantine fault tolerance, is a property in the system that ensures there is resistance to certain types of failures. A BFT system can continue to operate even if some nodes fail or malicious behavior occurs in the system. Okay, so increased security from my understanding, which I hear a lot about, but I don't know the deep details, but I hear a lot about Charles Hoskinson and all of the other developers on Cardano talking about is how secure they're building it, and they're putting a lot of thought into it, by the way. Peer-reviewed research. They said, we're gonna write this research paper, send it out here, and they did that 92 times with 92 groups, or I'm not sure if that's a specific number, but they really thought it out, like thought it through. This isn't the right window. Let's break it down again. He's talking about blockchain-based governance. I don't know much about that. I heard. Let's look it up on the glossary. I'm so grateful for this glossary, bro. Blockchain-based governance. Is that gonna show up? It is. Governance system. Okay, let's click on this then, y'all. Zoom in a little bit so y'all can see. Cardano is developing a smart contract platform which seeks to deliver more advanced features than any protocol previously developed, and will serve as a stable and secure platform for the development of enterprise-level dApps, decentralized apps. In the near future, Cardano will use a democratic governance system that allows the project to evolve over time and fund itself in a sustainable way through a visionary treasure system. You can read more about Cardano on the official Cardano website. So they talking about I think they're talking about on the roadmap. If we look at the Cardano roadmap, y'all, Cardano roadmap is showing us everything that they got planned. I think they're talking about the decentralization. Oh no, they're talking about governance. It's literally here, Ben. Voltaire. So we just finished this up actually. The 31st, the final, I think on the 31st they said Cardano, the platform will be fully decentralized. And I'm not too sure about what that means in terms of detail. But yeah, I don't want to get too far into Cardano because there's so much to look into in the other competition. So we have Polkadot. Let's actually look at what is Polkadot and kind of compare it to Cardano in terms of my understanding.
What would the crypto space look like if all blockchains had a common link to one another? Something like a superhighway for blockchains where Ethereum connected to Cardano and Bitcoin, Bitcoin connected to Tezos and VeChain, and Tron to Litecoin. Join us as we take a peek into VeChain to connect all other blockchains. Let's connect the dots and answer the question, what is Polkadot? Launched in 2016, Polkadot is the brainchild of Gavin Wood, an Ethereum co-founder and creator of Solidity, the programming language used by Ethereum.
There was absolutely no indication that there was going to be any development, significant at least, on Ethereum 2 for some time.
Polkadot is now run by Web3 Foundation and developed by Parity Technologies, both of which Gavin is a co-founder of. Polkadot is what Gavin Wood envisioned as the next version of Ethereum, and this is how it works. The current blockchain landscape is at best fragmented, with multiple independent blockchains all operating in isolation. As yet, there's no efficient way for these separate chains to operate and communicate with each other to share data, transact, or exchange value. Polkadot is working to correct this by providing for the first time cross-chain interoperability. Polkadot will allow any blockchain, private and public, permissioned and permissionless, as well as oracles and decentralized apps to talk to each other and be connected in a trustless way under a single decentralized Polkadot umbrella. Here's a few examples of how this could work. A smart contract event on Ethereum triggers a payment on the Bitcoin network. A cross-chain swap of Litecoin for XRP using smart.
Hold on, bro, because my rating is not working. So they talking about Polkadot. These are just some examples of interoperability. Smart contract event on Ethereum. So here's Ethereum. Triggers a payment on the Bitcoin network. In what cases would you want to do that? So if I say on Ethereum that I want to, if I'm on Ethereum and I want to trigger a payment from blockchain, I can do that? That sounds pretty useful from my understanding, my limited understanding. I'm just an 18-year-old in my in my house. Cross-chain swap of Litecoin for XRP using smart contracts. I have no idea what cross-chain swap means. Oh, like cross the blockchain. Swap of Litecoin for XRP using smart contracts. No intermediary. So instead of like something like Uniswap where I can only do things on the Ethereum blockchain, you're saying I could go and, I got too many tabs open. You're saying I could go and swap from Polkadot to, I could swap something from Litecoin to XRP with no middleman?
Contracts.
Like I said, I'm not too familiar with, you know, like the actual details of all of this stuff. I'm just kind of like trying to piece this together from a bird's eye view. I've never actually been like a soldier on the ground, the groundwork of all this stuff. I'm just trying to look at it as an investor, from an investor perspective. Is this what they call top-down research? I don't know, bro.
Without needing an intermediary. An oracle that feeds price data to dozens of different blockchains at the same time. This is why Polkadot is being called the Internet of Blockchains. Like the Internet, Polkadot will behave as an interoperable network connecting all blockchains. How does it do this? Well, Polkadot will achieve this through the Polkadot relay chain, parachains, and connectors called bridges. Polkadot's relay chain is the core layer of the network and acts like a bookkeeper.
She's talking about it. I was gonna be like, whoa, hold on, you just throwing those words at me?
Called bridges. Polkadot's relay chain is the core layer of the network and acts like a bookkeeper overlooking all the network transactions. Parachains are the second layer. They're made up of individual blockchains all connected in parallel. Parachains allow multiple chains to run simultaneously to enable scalability and increase transaction speed. They can be bought by cryptocurrency companies and customized to suit their needs. Thirdly,
They can be
bridges.
bought?
Polkadot will use bridges to connect to difficult
Bought by
or
who?
established
I mean, bought,
blockchains
and then the money goes to who?
to run simultaneously to enable scalability and increase transaction speed. They can be bought by cryptocurrency companies and customized.
So if I wanted to,
Parachains allow multiple chains to run simultaneously to enable scalability and increase transaction speed. They can be bought by
hold on, bro, I'm trying to figure this out. So it's like if Verizon had some cell phone towers and they got the towers hooked up and they're like, oh, you want better transaction speed? Here you go. That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. It's kind of like against the decentralized ethos of what a lot of people want, but I'm not too, I'm not like strictly for decentralization and nothing decentralization, you know what I mean? What? That sentence didn't make sense. But like I'm not hardcore DeFi like a lot of people.
Simultaneously to enable scalability and increase transaction speed. They can be bought by cryptocurrency companies and customized to suit their needs. Thirdly, bridges. Polkadot will use bridges to connect to difficult or established blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum by writing a break-in or a break-out smart contract that will allow these chains to communicate with the Polkadot network. But why is connecting to blockchains valuable, and can Polkadot truly support the ever-increasing number of blockchains? Well, click the link above to read more about Polkadot in
Oh, is that everything, or is there more? Like, just half to the video. Okay, there's more. Be patient, Bandang.
More about Polkadot in the Exodus blog. Okay, now we know what Polkadot is, let's dig into DOT. What exactly is it and what is it used for? DOT is the native token of the Polkadot network and is used for three main things: governance, staking, and bonding. First, governance. All DOT token holders are given the right to vote over decisions that govern the network, such as upgrades or changing network fees. Votes are weighted according to the amount of tokens and the agreed time period that the tokens are locked up with the vote.
So if I'm a rich motherfucker, I got more tokens and the agreed time period that the tokens are locked up with the vote. I don't know what that means, but I know that if I got $1 billion worth in tokens. Interesting.
Next, Polkadot staking. DOT holders can help secure the Polkadot network by staking their tokens to the network as validators and nominators. Validators take part in the minting of blocks, while nominators back the validators up. Both provide...
Okay, what is this compared to ADA? Because I know there's staking. I actually stake, or I don't know, it's called Delegate here on the app that I use. It's called the Yoroi wallet on Cardano, which I do delegate. I have some coins delegated, but I don't know what that looks like compared to what DOT does.
Important security functions and therefore receive DOT as a reward incentive. And third, bonding. As mentioned earlier, parachains can be bought. So in order to buy a parachain, a user has to bond DOT in order to control the parachain. Bonding ties DOT tokens to the relay chain whenever a new parachain is added. Polkadot aspires to build a multi-chain.
Nah, that didn't help, bro. I don't understand that.
Parachains can be bought. So in order to buy a parachain, a user has to bond DOT in order to control the parachain. Bonding ties DOT tokens to the relay chain when
Bonding ties DOT tokens to the relay chain. What is the relay chain again? Didn't we just go over that? Bro, I feel like I feel like that dumb kid in the math class, bro. This isn't math, but like, what is the relay chain again? Teacher! Teacher!
parachains and connectors called bridges, overlooking all the network transactions.
So the relay chain is everything, core layer of the network, and bonding.
To bond DOT in order to control the parachain. Bonding ties DOT tokens to the relay chain whenever a new parachain is added.
Bonding ties. Hold on, like, she's probably gonna explain it in the next few seconds, and I'm trying to figure it out in my own little brain here.
POLKADOT aspires to build a multi-chain universe where multiple blockchains can coexist and operate together.
Oh, I see how it works. I think so. She's saying that because all of these dots, all these DOT tokens are kind of just flying around. Did she say you have to bond specifically a DOT token in order to get a parachain? So you gotta take your DOT and then be like, here, and bond it in order to purchase the faster parachain. It's probably gonna make more sense if you're actually like, toes deep in the water and actually are actually doing it versus this 4-minute video, but
to the relay chain whenever a new parachain is added. POLKADOT aspires to build a multi-chain universe where multiple blockchains can coexist and operate together to create a more vibrant, interoperable mega system of blockchains. How do you envision an internet of blockchains?
Okay. I can see where POLKADOT is standing. So they're not actually, I wouldn't even say ADA and DOT are kind of competing, because they're looking at different markets, completely different missions. You know what I mean? So I'm glad I'm an investor in ADA, but it's not like I'm like boo DOT. There's plenty of market share and plenty of opportunity for many of these coins to live, Now let's look at what Avalanche is, y'all. What is Avalanche? I don't know.
Okay, so let's get into this. What is Avalanche? Well, quite simply, it is a new smart contract platform competing for market share with all of the other top platforms like Ethereum and POLKADOT and Cardano and Solana and all these guys. In fact, Avalanche is...
Let me put a caption. There are no captions.
Competing for market share with all of the other POLKADOT and Cardano and Solana and all these guys. In fact, Avalanche...
I'm gonna write that down, but in the meantime, I'm gonna tell y'all a story, right? So I was just chilling, doing some work. Solana crypto. I was just chilling, doing some work, right? I take my headphones off viciously. Oh well, this happened, bro. This happened. I could glue it together easily, but I decided to buy some new headphones instead, like an idiot. Solana crypto. Let's look at the market cap. I know you're not supposed to look at price as an investor. Like, that's not the first thing that you're supposed to look at. Let me look at their website then. Solana. Yeah, let's just put that on the. Let's just put that there. But in the meantime, let's watch this rest of this video.
Avalanche is one of the very few cryptocurrencies actually launched in 2020 and was able to shoot just basically straight into the top rankings for coins, which was a very, very impressive thing. You don't often see such a big move so fast for a new launched coin. The mainnet for Avalanche went live in September. Now, this is a coin that was created by Dr. Emin Gun Sirir, who has...
September 2020? That's insane. Dr. Emin, I can probably look into it later. Let me just... Y'all are probably like, continue the video, bro.
taught computer science, specifically looking at the topic of distributed ledger technology at Cornell University for around 2 decades. So, kind of somebody who really, really knows their stuff when it comes to crypto technology. The idea for Avalanche was created with the input from around a dozen different Cornell University alumni, and half of the team currently working on it are also Cornell alumni. Now, this guy, he's not just a professor, he's also a well-known expert on blockchain technology and digital currencies. He's actually best known, now previously, I suppose probably best known for Avalanche moving forward, but previously he was best known for his creation of a peer-to-peer proof of work digital currency called Karma back in 2003. Now that was around 6 years before Bitcoin was released. Some people have even gone on to speculate that he may be a good candidate for Satoshi, right? So, bit of backstory there for you on the guy. Now let's actually get into
Bro, give
what
me a picture.
Avalanche
Who is he?
is. First, it's
Anyway.
important to note that Avalanche is actually a DAG. Now, to keep it just super simple, a DAG is kind of like a blockchain, similar idea, but they use a graph structure instead. Now, Avalanche has actually been optimized to run nodes on CPUs, so anyone with a home computer can run it, and it has a transaction finality of around 3 seconds, so that is like lightning fast, and a possible transaction per second throughput of 4,500 transactions per second versus, of course, Ethereum's 15. Currently, ETH 2.0 obviously will be a lot more.
15
The
per
Avalanche
second?
consensus Ethereum's 15.
So it's faster, is what this guy's saying. And it's not on blockchain technology. Which I barely even have an understanding of what blockchain technology is. Like, what does a blockchain look like? I've never looked at a blockchain. Yeah, I have. It's just the complicated ass. It's just not a very friendly UI. But I really looked up blockchain.com. That's funny. But nah. What the hell's a DAG, dude? And graphs.
ETH 2.0 obviously will be a lot more. The Avalanche Consensus Protocol was designed to be immune to any type of 51% attack, which all proof of networks kind of suffer from. So in order to gain control of the network, an entity would actually require 80% of the network's validators in order to be able to influence consensus. Now, that becomes basically a near impossibility to happen. So we're talking very high levels of security here. Now, at a structural level, Avalanche is made up of 3 separate blockchains. They're actually combined to create the Avalanche primary network. So the first of these is the platform chain, or the P chain. Now this is the metadata chain on Avalanche. So this is the chain that actually coordinates all the validators. It keeps track of the active subnets. It allows for the creation of new subnets using the snowman consensus. I like all the snow themed stuff here. Snowman consensus, Avalanche, clever guys, clever. Anyway, of course that's all powered by snowman consensus, powered by Avalanche as well. So the second here is the exchange chain, or the X chain, which is the default asset chain on Avalanche. It actually enables the creation of new assets, allowing you to exchange between different assets, and of course also bringing in a cross subnet transfer.
I'm gonna click on a different video because this guy's throwing around verbs and not verbs. He's throwing around words and I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Avalanche. What is Avalanche in layman's terms, please? What is oh, this is a good one.
Hey, here's something you should know. Over the last year, web accessibility lawsuits have become commonplace. These ADA
The global financial
Why is it in French?
fabric is
My fault. All my French people watching, all my 100 million viewers that are currently watching. I'm sorry.
composed of fragmented markets due to the global financial fabric is composed of fragmented markets due to regulatory and geographical differences. Until now, there has been no easy way to create and trade digital assets in a legally compliant way. In fact, there is over $800 trillion in world value of assets, yet there is not a unified global marketplace for them. What if we could reimagine financial markets as a unified global network, where deploying assets were as easy as sending an email? What if exchanging financial products was unified, so one could trade equities, commodities, alternative assets, and more, all on the same global platform? AVA is the infrastructure to make this possible. by enabling any financial network to plug into one universal platform. Welcome to the Internet of Assets, a global financial...
Wait, what did POLKADOT call themselves? The Internet of Blockchains? Interesting. Interesting.
Financial network for the issuing and trading of all digital goods. AVA can support such a large universal network because of its unprecedented engine. AVA is built with speed that is only possible with a recent breakthrough in distributed systems, known as avalanche consensus. Current decentralized networks are built on over-decade-old consensus protocols that have issues scaling with high performance. But now, there is avalanche consensus. It enables millions of participants to validate while processing thousands of transactions per second, down to sub-second finalization times. It's blazing fast, really fast. AVA pairs this engine with an architecture that can fit the custom needs of unique financial products and decentralized applications. This customizability is achieved through subnetworks, enabling anyone to launch their own tailor-made network with custom virtual machines. AVA lays the foundation for a platform of platforms, where there are thousands of unique subnetworks that can connect and create one unified global market. An asset issuer on AVA has the flexibility to digitize any asset, starting with determining the features, such as privacy-enabled transactions. The issuer can decide whether it wants to be on a permissioned or permissionless network. The asset can be built with custom smart contracts to help design the marketplace functionality. And there can be custom conditions designed to meet compliance requirements. Then launch the asset into the global market. AVA is fast, flexible, secure, with a custom plug-and-play infrastructure that is built to serve the needs of decentralized applications, asset issuers, and financial marketplaces. AVA, your one global Internet of Assets. What will you deploy?
So this kind of reminds me of what people are praising NFTs to be. Kind of like somebody said, the standard of all digital items. Which I have a hard time wrapping my mind around because I kind of don't really know what context that would even be in. But with Avalanche, they actually seek to be a standard for all assets, which is a very interesting concept. I think in terms of missions, I like Cardano's the most, just in terms of like wanting to help out those in need with a system. Of course, there is market for these two, POLKADOT and Avalanche. What would the video for Ethereum be? Is there Ethereum YouTube
Get
channel?
your home.
No! Hey, Lemonade Insurance is a very interesting company to me. I actually might do some research on them. I have done research on them. I'm an investor in them. If y'all are interested, hit me up in the comments. All my 100 million subscribers and views down there. What is Ethereum? Or maybe Ethereum YouTube channel. Graham Stephan. Hey Graham Stephan, you know, since I have like 10 times the amount of subscribers you do, I know you would love to just hit me up on Instagram, bro. I'm always open to collaboration with smaller YouTubers. Okay, we do have an Ethereum blockchain here. Oh my gosh, what is this? Why did all these like channels always have such complicated? Okay, Vitalik explains Ethereum. What is Ethereum? An Ethereum platform decentralized for decentralized autonomous organizations. Sounds like a bunch of jargon to me, bro. Why is this video 10 minutes long? They wanted their ads. You can't blame them. It was 2014. He wasn't a billionaire back then. I didn't mean to skip that. Oh my gosh.
Distributed on hundreds of other entrepreneurs, developers, and my name is Stephan Thuel. I'm the CCO for Ethereum. My background is in IT, startups, and development. My role at Ethereum is to bring together entrepreneurs, developers, and investors to build decentralized applications on our platform.
Okay, I'm kind of like coming in with too high expectations. Like, I know Ethereum's mission is probably like create a computer network system or something like that that uses blockchain technology compared to Bitcoin. And it's not going to be anything like, well let's see.
Ethereum is an open source platform to build, distribute next generation decentralized applications. That is, applications that have no middlemen, where users interact with social systems, financial systems, gaming interfaces, all in a peer-to-peer fashion. Because the Ethereum network will be distributed on hundreds of thousands of computers around the globe, this all takes place on a censorship-proof foundation. We make it easy for developers to build those applications, leveraging tools that they are already familiar with. Things like HTML and JavaScript to build the interfaces, or Go, Python, or Lisp to build the business logic. In short, our mission is to open up the floodgates of decentralized application development. We're currently well into a development process, and we're planning to launch a live version of our network towards the end of this year.
Damn, 2014, bro.
Most of the services you use today have one thing in common. They're centralized. So for example, you trust your bank to keep your money safe, to be independently audited, and to be honest. The same is true with Facebook when you upload a picture of your kids, or when you push a document to Dropbox, or even when you go to your medical practice and provide them with your personal medical information. As a developer, you need to submit your application to an app store and risk having it...
I was just trying to compare, like, what is the Ethereum mission, which it's not exactly going to be this noble, like, yeah, Ethereum, woo, because, you know, it was one of the earliest blockchain technologies. But yeah, I mean, creating a system for decentralized apps back then, that was unheard of. So yeah, I can't really say bad about it. It's just that there are a lot of problems with it, and unfortunately it's going to be extremely difficult to fix those problems versus creating a new system entirely, which is what Charles Hoskinson is doing, which is what was this guy's name on POLKADOT? Shit. Where's POLKADOT? POLKADOT crypto. You said I type slow? You ain't had to disrespect me like that, bro. See launch roadmap. Oh, they have a roadmap. It's a video. Okay, here it is. We got the parachain rollout. That's the current phase that we're in. Why is this kind of difficult to read? Where are we? What am I looking at? I thought I thought it was gonna be a map like Cardano. Like era 1, era 2, era 3. I thought it was gonna be like that. So I'm assuming this is gonna be era 1. I'm not really sure. POA! Web3 Foundation will launch Polkadot in proof of authority mode. During this time, most users will be able to claim tokens from their Ethereum contract, stake tokens, and declare their intent to validate or nominate. Validators will also be able to set their session keys in preparation for proof of stake. I'm going to be honest, y'all. I don't really, as an investor, I like looking at things that excite me. Cardano's mission excites me. That's why I look into it. I don't really see... I'm not really excited about the opportunity for Polkadot. I'm sure there's a big opportunity for it. The internet of blockchains, that sounds cool. What's the other one? Avalanche, the internet of... What's it called? The internet of assets, that sounds cool too. But I don't want to like diversify my attention too much, you know. I already have other things that I'm invested in, so it was very interesting to have a basic understanding and at least look at the other competitors, quote unquote. But in my opinion, these aren't really competitors because they all have like completely different missions, completely different goals. Like, what comes to mind for me is like, if there's three boats trying to go to 3 separate locations, are they competing with each other in a race? Maybe for market share, maybe for control of the lake, whatever that even means. But in the heads of the leaders and the people that are actually developing the app and trying to get towards their own destination, they're not exactly trying to please investors who are only looking at market share. So for me, I'm gonna stick to Cardano because I like their mission, which, if you don't know what their mission is, let's finish off the video with Cardano mission. And this is something that I can invest in and put my money behind. I'm gonna shut up now.
I think the easiest...
Wait, hold on. I gotta do something dramatic, y'all. Boom.
I think the easiest way of explaining it is that the world is going through an upgrade where we're going to go from a split system to a unified system.
Right now we have 2 systems. We have the developed world system and we have the developing world system. The developed world system has banks, insurance, credit, identity. You can do business online, you can build trust, manage risk, and grow wealth. And any person born in a developed world country, if they work hard, have a good chance of getting to the point where they can retire and have a good life. A life with food, water, shelter, and the ability to pursue things that make them happy, and have enough left over that when they become weak and vulnerable, their savings can take care of them. When you look at the developing world, through no fault of their own, they live in a system where wealth creation is very difficult. And even if you have some, you can't insure it or hedge it, and in the event something happens like a war or a natural disaster, it can cause people to lose everything. But the world is upgrading so that we can have a unified system where all 7 billion people can live under one financial operating system, so that your identity is interoperable and universal. You can get a loan no matter who you are, no matter where you are. You can get insurance, you can do business with anyone in the world in a friction-free way. The point of Cardano is to acknowledge that this must be done with principles. This means pushing power to the edges and putting you in charge of your own money, your identity, and your voice with governance. So that when we get to that universal system, we can get there with an open, decentralized, principled system that can't be co-opted and is highly resilient to people trying to tamper with it. So that the richest people in the world use the same system as the poorest people in the world, and both of those people will have a better system than the one that came before it. That's what Cardano is trying to accomplish.
Alright, y'all. That is what Cardano is trying to accomplish. I don't know why he pronounces it like Cardano, but that's what Cardano is trying to accomplish. As an investor, I'm interested in their mission, and I'm interested in putting my money in something that I believe in. And if you feel the same, and if this message resonates with you, consider subscribing, because I'm live streaming every weekday, y'all. I'm live streaming every weekday. I know I already have 100 million subscribers and viewers every live stream, every time I hit start live stream. But you know, I'm always open to having 7 billion subscribers. So anyway, that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Tomorrow I might look more, I think I'm gonna look specifically at Cardano. Maybe try to get a deeper understanding of the actual details. Like, what are the apps? They don't have any apps out there yet, but I wanna know what they have in store. I have a basic understanding of like the progress they've made, but I don't know what they have right now. And they're saying something about test nets, and basically a lot of people they're opening up the floodgates for people to start developing in the span of 2 months. I want to be deep in the waters, so to speak. I want to know everything about Cardano as an investor. So with that being said, join me tomorrow.